Hello and good morning from Teacher Alex. In today's lesson, we will be looking at ratios. You see ratios every day in the real world. For instance, one cinema ticket may cost 150 baht. There is a ratio between one cinema ticket and 150 baht. And of course, if you want to buy 4 tickets, you know that that would be 4 multiplied by 150. This equals 600. So the ratio of 1 ticket to 150 baht allows us to work out the cost of more than 1 ticket. Let's go over to the PowerPoint. So, a ratio, it is a relationship between 2 things with numbers. We call the things variables. For instance, $1 equals 32.46 baht. This is the ratio of $1 to baht. And from this, I can work out how many baht are $100, or I can change baht into dollars by using this relationship. Measurements are also ratios. 1 meter is 100 centimeters, 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters. We have ratios in cooking, and of course we will use this ratio to change the ingredients if we have to cook for more people. So ratios are really everywhere in real life. I want to now try a few problems. Many of you will be able to work out this next question in your head, but let's go and have a look. In 5 days, I spend 60 baht on petrol for my scooter. How many baht for petrol in 10 days? So we have a relationship here. A ratio of 5 days equals 60 baht. That's how much petrol I use in 5 days. It cost me 60 baht. What about 10 days? I think you can probably work this out in your head. 10 is 2 times 5, so in 10 days I will spend 120 baht. Okay, now what about from the other side of the equation? If I tell you I have 240 baht, how many days will that last for my petrol? 240 is 2 times 120, so I hope you guessed 20 days. Now these numbers are quite easy to work with. What about 8 days? 8 days, well, it's somewhere between 5 and 10, but this is not so easy to do in your head. I will say it is A. We don't know. We will see how to work this out in a minute. And if I do the example from the other side, what about 200 baht? Well, it will probably last me between 10 and 20 days. But I cannot work this out in my head. I will call this B for now. Now let's move on and see how we actually solve this problem in maths. In 5 days, I spend 60 baht. By the way, these are my variables. These are the things in the question. There is a relationship between 5 days and 60 baht. The first thing we write is this relationship. Now, what I want to find is how many baht for 8 days. 8 days equals a baht. I don't know, but I will show you now how to work this out. Step number 1, we take the numbers and the variables from the question and turn them into equations. 5 days, 60 baht. I want to know how many baht, A, in 8 days. It is very important to keep the same variables on the same side. Here I'm going to put days, and on the right I have Bart. Let's look at the very important step 2. What did I do here? We make one equation by using division. I simply divide 5 by 8, and I say equals 60 divide by A. It is the same method for all these type of questions. Now, I hope you can solve for A. I move the A over here, so really I have 5A equals 60 multiplied by 8. Remember, here I am dividing by A, so when I move it to the other side, it becomes multiply. The same for this 8. Here it is dividing, but when I move it to the other side, we will multiply. So I have nearly found my answer. A equals 60 times 8 divided by 5. Move the numbers and cut. A in this case is 96. 8 days will cost me 96 baht. Now let's look at another similar question. Still 5 days and 60 baht. But now I want to work out how many days for 200 baht. Now the unknown is on the left side. We know baht, but we do not know days. Well, because this is maths, we will use the same method. First, what do we know? We know 5 days is 60, and then we write another line for what we do not know. The number of days equals 200 baht. Again, remember, keep your variables that are the same on the same side. Days here and baht here. Step 2, we divide 5 divided by B equals 60 divided by 200. We make one equation by using division. These are the most important steps. You take your variables from the question, you make an equation, and then you can divide, and now we can find B. 5 times 20, we move the 200 to the other side. Same thing for B. 60 times B, and so B will equal 5 times 200 divided by 60. You will need a calculator, but B equals 16.66. The important step is really number 1, getting your numbers and variables into this equation. Then we make one equation and we solve. So, here is a question for you. I'm using now, in 3 weeks, I eat 20 eggs. I would like you to see if you can work out how many eggs I will eat in 8 weeks. You will need to put these numbers into this equation and then follow the same method. In this case, you know 3 weeks is 20 eggs. You want to find how many eggs you will eat in 8 weeks. Now I'm giving you the answer here. The answer is 53.33. But if you would like, see if you can find that answer by going through the same method that you saw on the previous slide. Again, same question, but the other way around. 3 weeks, 20 eggs, but now I want you to find how many weeks it will take to eat 130 eggs. Again, I will give you the answer. It is 19.5 weeks. But the point is, can you make the method from what you saw in the previous slides and put in the numbers and get to this answer of 19.5? So remember, we use ratios all the time, but when the numbers are difficult, you need to make an equation and then find your missing value. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.